Let's just proceed to the next question. Okay, but see, before discussing this question, let me just discuss its credential. That means to which module, to which subtopic, and what is the difficulty level here. So see, it belongs to the algebra module. As I said, there were 4 modules. Okay, so algebra was the first one, or you can say the majority of the question lie from there. Okay, and the subtopic it belongs to is linear function, and you can say the difficulty level is hard. Okay, but don't worry, it's not a difficult question, it's just a tricky question. Okay, that is why it is mentioned as hard. Okay, now let me just go back to the question and let me just discuss what this question is saying. See, let me just scroll this thing a little bit here for you so that we can see all of these things in a clear way. So text has to be visible. Okay, yes. Now let's just discuss this question number 2 together. See, this question is saying the graph of the function f where y is equals to f of x models the cost $y in dollars. Okay, see, there is a graph mentioned. Okay, so it is the graph of y is equals to fx. So let me just mention that that is showing y is equals to f of x. Okay, where the total cost y is in dollars for a certain exotic cookie pack dispenser system and x cookies. Okay, now let's just discuss, let's just scenario till now. See, the question is saying one graph is shown to you, okay, whose equation is y is equals to function of x. Okay, that means definitely it must have something written on x-axis and something written on y-axis. Okay, so on the y-axis, the mentioned thing is what? The total cost. Okay, but for what it is the total cost? So see, we have a cookie pack dispenser system. Okay, so to find the cost of packing those cookies is mentioned on y-axis. So whatever mentioned there, that is the cost. Okay, and that too it is in dollars. To remember that. Okay, now on the x-axis the cookies are mentioned, or you can say actually the number of cookies are mentioned here. See, the very first thing is number of cookies is 5. The next thing is number of cookies is 10. The next thing is 15, and so on. Okay, and their corresponding cost is mentioned here. Okay, so that's what the question is saying until now. Now, further question is saying, if they are sold in the pack of 5 cookies, what is the best interpretation of the slope of the graph in this context? Okay, so you have to remember that there is a dispenser system for the cookies who is able to pack some pack of cookies. Okay, now that pack will contain 5 cookies. So each pack is containing how many cookies? 5 cookies. Okay, so on the x-axis the number of cookies are mentioned. Now have a look, that is why they are mentioned in the multiples of 5. It is 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so this is the number of cookies and their corresponding cost is mentioned on the y-axis. Okay, now in this scenario we have to find the best interpretation of slope. So first of all, you should understand the logical meaning of the slope. See, logically slope suggests if we change the value of x, okay, then how does y changes? Okay, that's what means the slope. That means what? If I have a variable x, okay, which is of course the independent one. Okay, and always remember, independent variable cannot be reduced. It will always and always increase. To remember that. So the value of x will always increase. But on increasing this value of x, how y is changing? That means what? Y can either increase or y can either decrease, because y is a dependent variable. Okay, do remember, if you have an independent variable, so that has to be plot on the x-axis, and independent variable cannot be reduced. It will always and always increase. Okay, but on that increment, y can either increase or it can decrease. Okay, so if it is increasing, that means if your line is showing in this line, that means what? It has a positive steepness. Okay, that means what? Your slope should be positive. Okay, and if it is decreasing, let me say y is decreasing, that means your line should be in this way. That means what? Your slope is negative here. Okay, so that's what the logical meaning of slope is here. Okay, now you have to understand, just have a look on the graph. So obviously my line is going in this direction. That means definitely this curve is having a positive slope. Okay, now in order to relate with the slope, first of all, you should remember the slope intercept form of the line. which suggests y is equals to mx plus c, where m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. Okay, now y-intercept means what? It is the value of y when x is equals to 0. Okay, that means what is the minimum thing that is required? That means whenever x variable is not there, then what is the minimum thing that is required in the y variable? That is called y-intercept. Okay, now just have a look on your graph. Now, if x is equals to 0, so is your graph is showing that y value is this 200? See, the graph is showing that. Now, what does this mean? Even if no cookie is packed, that means no pack of 5 cookies packed, then only $200 will be required to maintain this dispenser system. Okay, that's what is the interpretation for the y-intercept. Okay, but here our question is asking for the interpretation of slope. Now, how to conclude that? See, when I have 5 cookies, see, so what is the value of y? That means what is the cost of having those 5 cookies? See, just have a look. If I mark this point, so can't I say this is in between 200 to 210? That means for 5 cookies, the cost is how many dollars? It is $205. Okay, that means for 5 cookies, the cost is what? 205. Okay, similarly, just check for 10 cookies, what is the cost of packing those many cookies? So see, okay, if I plot this point here, so can't I say the cost is 210? See, for packing 10 cookies, the cost will become $210. So let me just mark another point, 10, 210. Okay. Similarly, just have a look for packing 15 cookies. The y value comes here, which is of course 215. Okay. So let me just mark this point here as well. So 15, 215. Okay. Now just have a look on the graph. It is growing in this direction. Okay, that means the slope will remain as it is on the whole graph. So just have a look. When I was having 5 cookies, so the cost was 205. When I was having 10 cookies, the cost was 210. When I was having 15 cookies, the cost was 215. So can't I say each pack of 5 cookie will cost me $5? You tell me why so? Because see, 200 is the minimum one. Okay, even if I am not packing any cookie, so to maintain that dispenser system, $200 was required. So we cannot say it is already included in the cost of having that dispenser system. Of course, it is included, but it is not the cost of 5 cookies. Are you getting this thing? See, 200 is the minimum one which will be there. By default, it will be there. Okay. So for packing 5 cookies, what is the cost? $5. For packing next 5 cookies, what is the cost? Next $5. For packing next 5 cookies, what is the cost? Another $5. So that's what the interpretation of slope is. Okay. So why I have listed so many things? Because first of all, you must understand that why this 200 is here. Okay. So it is not the cost of packing those 5 cookies. It is the cost of maintaining that dispenser system. Okay. So now you can say when we are increasing the value of x, that means whenever the number of cookies are increased by 1. So of course, my cost will increase by 1. That means I can say the cost of packing 5 cookies is $5. Okay, and is there any option which is saying so? So of course, my option is saying that each pack of 5 cookies will cost $5. Okay, that's what the correct interpretation of the slope. Okay, so first of all, you should be logically clear like what m represents and what c represents in this slope intercept form. I hope this simple question, the tricky question number 2 is clear to everyone. Okay. Believe me, that's not at all a difficult one. It's just a tricky one. That is why it is mentioned as hard question. Okay. I hope that is clear to you.